Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOURFRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape this offseason, you know that the NFC East is heating up in a way we haven't seen in quite some time. The Washington Commanders, who have been quietly building and retooling since last season's promising turnaround, are now at the center of some intriguing rumors that could reshape not only their roster but the entire division's balance of power. And one name in particular has come into focus recently, sparking lots of debate among fans and analysts alike: Nick Chubb. Yes, the former All-Pro running back, a guy who's been a cornerstone for the Cleveland Browns, might be heading to Washington, and if that happens, it could be a game changer. But let's back up a bit and talk about the current state of the Commanders to put all this into perspective. Last season, Washington surprised many with their resilience and grit. They finished with a respectable record, fighting hard in a division that's been notoriously competitive for years. The team showed flashes of brilliance, especially on the defensive side, with young stars emerging and the coaching staff finding a rhythm. But offensively, there were still questions. The quarterback position remains a key storyline, and the front office has been actively trying to find the right guy, a signal caller who can take this team to the next level and, most importantly, stabilize the offense. The front office's efforts to bring in veteran leadership at the quarterback position have been well documented. They've targeted proven players who can lead and elevate the team, especially in high-pressure situations. Recently, the Commanders signed Jayden Daniels, a young quarterback with promising talent, to see if he can be the franchise savior. Daniels, who's shown flashes of brilliance at LSU, has the mobility and arm strength to thrive in a modern NFL offense. The hope is that he develops more consistency, learns to handle the pressure of the NFL, and becomes the leader this offense desperately needs. But now the focus is shifting to the running back position, which has been an area of concern for Washington for quite some time. Last season, Brian Robinson Jr. stepped up and showed he could be a solid, dependable runner. He ran with power, made key plays, and brought a physical presence to the backfield that fans really appreciated. Still, the team is looking to add more depth, experience, and perhaps a different dimension to their rushing attack, especially as they prepare for a potential playoff push in the upcoming season. And that's where the chatter about Nick Chubb comes into play. ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler recently floated the idea that the Commanders could be interested in signing Chubb, and honestly, it's not an idea to dismiss lightly. Fowler pointed out that the NFL running back market is pretty tight right now. A lot of players are waiting it out, trying to find the right fit or hoping for the best possible deal come training camp. Chubb, who's been a Pro Bowler and one of the most consistent runners in the league over the past few years, is currently in a tricky spot. After battling back from a devastating knee injury, he's faced some setbacks in terms of production and durability. Last season, he averaged just 3 yards per carry, which is significantly below his career average of over 5 yards. That, combined with a toe injury that ended his season prematurely, has cast some doubt on his immediate future. Now, age is also a factor. Chubb is 30 years old, and for running backs, that's often considered the beginning of the downhill slope. The NFL's shelf life for running backs is notoriously short, and teams are usually hesitant to invest big money in players with injury histories or declining production. Still, Chubb's talent and resume are undeniable. When healthy, he's a game changer, powerful, elusive, and capable of taking over games. The question is, what kind of role could he carve out with the Commanders? The idea floating around is that Washington might sign him for a smaller role, perhaps as a backup or a complementary piece behind Brian Robinson Jr., who showed he can handle a heavy workload and is just entering his prime. The potential fit makes sense in some ways. Washington's offense has been trending upward, especially with the addition of new weapons and a more creative play-calling approach. Having a veteran like Chubb with his experience and playoff pedigree could be invaluable in tight games or during playoff runs. It's also worth noting that Chubb might be tempted by the opportunity to compete for a championship, especially if the team shows serious intent to contend. The allure of a deep playoff run combined with the chance to revive his career might be enough to persuade him to take a smaller contract or accept a rotational role. But of course, the market for Chubb is still developing. He's in a position where he's surveying his options, waiting to see which teams show real interest. The Browns, his old team, have been publicly noncommittal, and the injury concerns have made other teams cautious. That's why the Commanders' interest, if it's genuine, could be a defining move for their offseason. It's not just about adding a talented player, it's about making a statement that they're serious about competing this year. And Chubb, with his ability to change games, could do exactly that. Now, let's talk a little about what a signing like this could mean for the team's overall strategy. Washington's management has been very deliberate in their approach. They're trying to build a roster that balances youth and experience, talent and depth. The offensive line has been upgraded, the receiving core has added some promising pieces, and now with the potential addition of a veteran running back, the offense could look very different from last season. The team's philosophy under the current coaching staff seems to be centered on establishing a strong running game to complement the passing attack. That's especially true if Daniels continues to develop and the offensive line gels better. Adding a player like Nick Chubb could also serve as a mentor figure for younger backs, especially Robinson Jr., who's still trying to find consistency at the NFL level. Chubb's experience, leadership, and knowledge of what it takes to succeed at the highest level could be invaluable in the locker room. Plus, his presence might push Robinson to elevate his game even further, knowing he has a seasoned veteran breathing down his neck and ready to step in if needed. Of course, fans are naturally curious about the financial side of things. Chubb's market value isn't what it used to be, given his recent injuries and age. The team could sign him to a more modest deal, perhaps a 1 or 2 year contract with incentives tied to performance and playing time. This way, Washington mitigates risk while still adding a proven talent to their backfield. It also aligns with their broader strategy of being flexible and pragmatic in free agency and roster building, rather than overspending on aging stars. Looking at the division, the NFC East is shaping up as one of the most competitive in recent memory. The Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants all made significant moves this offseason. The Eagles, in particular, are stacked and looking to defend their title. The Cowboys have added some key pieces on defense, and the Giants are trying to build on their surprising playoff run. In this context, Washington's moves, like potentially signing Chubb, are not just about filling a roster spot. They're about making a statement that they're here to contend, that they're not just building for the future but fighting for the present. And don't forget, Washington has a passionate fan base that's eager to see this team reach new heights. The energy around the team is palpable, especially after last season's surprising success. The coaching staff led by Ron Rivera has emphasized a balanced approach, improving both sides of the ball and creating a culture of accountability. Bringing in a veteran like Chubb would fit perfectly into that narrative, adding grit and experience to a team that's hungry for more. In the broader NFL context, this potential signing also reflects a shift in how teams are viewing veteran players coming off injuries. No longer are they seen as liabilities, instead, teams recognize the value of experience, leadership, and the ability to contribute in specific roles. Chubb's case is a perfect example. Despite the setbacks, his talent is still undeniable, and if he can get back to even close to his peak, he could be a steal for Washington. Now fans, I know there are a lot of questions. Will Chubb really sign with Washington? How much will he get paid? What kind of role will he play? These questions will only be answered in the coming weeks, as the offseason unfolds and teams start making those crucial roster decisions. But one thing is clear, the NFC East is about to get even more interesting, and the Commanders are positioning themselves to be serious contenders once again. Remember, this isn't just about one player, it's about a team that's trying to rewrite its story, to establish a new identity and push for that elusive Super Bowl. The journey is long, and there will be plenty of twists and turns, but if they add a player like Nick Chubb, it could be a move that defines their season. So keep your eyes on Washington, because they're not just sitting back, they're actively trying to make bold moves to outthink and outplay their division rivals. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential signing? Do you think Chubb is the missing piece to elevate this team? Or do you believe they should focus on developing their younger backs and building through the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions are what make this community great. I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and deeper insights into everything happening with your beloved Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Commanders.